Good morning, all. As we enter into this virtual service, please note that those of you participating via Zoom have been muted by our host, and we ask that in-house participants please remain masked while in the sanctuary. Also be advised that our services are being recorded and, with the exception of joys and concerns, will be published online. Finally, if you wish to take a quick moment, arrange your own chalice at home. Okay. As we enter into this service, let us resist the lure of rapacity and desire. Let us instead escape to the forest and listen to the whispers of nature herself. Mary will light the chalice here in the sanctuary. I invite you to light your own chalice and place it where it can be seen by all of us if you are able. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lit the flame within us and the community. Thanks. Before we sing the first hymn, let me remind our remote participants to leave yourselves muted and our in-house participants to remain masked. However, we want you and whoever is with you to sing with Mary and Jan as big and loud as you like. Make it a joyous experience. So let's all sing the opening hymn, I Brought My Spirit to the Sea, number 4. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Community of Cambria. We are glad you've joined us today. We acknowledge that our UUCC sanctuary stands on land that has been continuously inhabited by coastal Chumash and Salinan indigenous peoples, whose ancestors lived primarily in the San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, and Ventura counties. As a Unitarian Universalist community, we celebrate religious diversity and welcome all who journey in search of faith and spirituality. The UUCC is a lay-led congregation inviting speakers from different religious traditions and spiritual or scientific backgrounds to speak at our pulpit. We encourage presentations covering a variety of topics and areas of interest to our community that connect with the UU7 principles. Today's service centers around the third principle. We affirm and promote acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. Spiritual growth isn't about a vertical ascent in heaven, but about growth in every dimension at once. It's spirituality in 3D. Growth in spirit doesn't measure one's proximity to God above, but rather the spaciousness of one's own soul, its volume, its capacity, its size. We need souls that can take in the world in all its complexity and diversity, yet still maintain our integrity. And we need souls that can love and be in relationship with all of this complexity. Instead of fight or flight, we need a spiritual posture of embrace. My name is Randy Schwalbe, and I am your worship associate this morning. I would like to extend a special welcome to today's guests and visitors. We're glad you've joined us this morning. And if you're not on our mailing list, please visit our website at www.uuccambria.org so that we can keep you informed about all of our activities. And please check out What's Happening, a weekly e-blast sent to all of our members and friends. This is a great way to keep up with the latest news in our community. And a reminder, if you wish to see this or any of our past Zoom services again, recordings of these services can be found on the UUCC website and Facebook as well. The membership committee invites non-members to consider joining our community. Please contact Diane DeMarco or a person on the board if you're interested. Thank you. So again, good morning and welcome to everyone. The affirmation is both a recognition of the nature of our community as well as a promise we make and aspire to. Let us now recite our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another. We set aside this time for any short announcements that would be of interest to our UU community members and friends. Please keep your items short and to the point. For any items that need more explanation, please call or email the person after the service to be respectful of everyone's time. If you have an announcement, please raise your hand. When Diane or I call your name, please stand or unmute yourself and then speak. Triva.
You're okay. Morning, everyone. Just a friendly reminder that tomorrow night is the board meeting at 5 o'clock on Zoom. So if you are interested in going, please email Andy and he will send you that link. Thank you.
Okay, Jan.
Yes. Am I here?
No, there you are.
The scholarship committee is working diligently, going through all these applications, and these kids are so wonderful. We have our budget from the constraints of the congregation. If you want to contribute more, we would accept your money willingly. So if you want to make a contribution, you need to have, probably by March 10th, we would need to know how much funds we have to distribute. So just write a memo in the bottom of your check saying scholarship contribution. Thank you.
Randy, I have one from the house here. The men's group meets tomorrow at 10 a.m. here in the sanctuary. There will be a Zoom link if you can't attend in person.
Okay, Diane.
Yeah, thank you, Randy. I have an announcement, and that is we're having our covenant meeting with dinner starting at 4 o'clock this Saturday. We're very excited to see so many people joining us, and we look forward to it. We'll see you then. Do we have any other announcements?
Okay. I have an announcement. Every August, we hold our Summer Sermons by Other People series. Yeah. So that means every Sunday, one of us will be up here delivering a sermon that somebody else wrote. So we would like to invite those of you who have not done this in the past to consider speaking in August And that means you'll have to find a sermon out there somewhere, and we can help you do that. And if it really speaks to you, then we would love to have you deliver that sermon for us on one of the Sundays in August. So please keep that in mind. And it's not too soon to offer up some ideas or suggestions to me as soon as you can. Okay, so please consider that. And we're inviting those who have not spoken before during August in the past couple of years. Okay, next slide. And then next week, the Congregational Circle will be hosted by Andy Fagan. It'll be the UUCC and the 8th Principal, Andy.
So just a tidbit of information on that. The 8th Principle is something that we've heard discussed in the past. Last May, Everett Thompson spoke to us about the 8th Principle that's proposed for the UUA. I'll just read you the principle briefly. The words go, "We, the member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association Covenant, to affirm and promote," and here's the new part, "journeying toward spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions." So that's the language that's proposed. What I hope to do next Sunday is lead a congregational circle discussing the 8th Principle amongst ourselves. It'll be an all Zoom service to sort of expedite the circle aspect of it. And I'll lead it. I'll provide some information. If you want to do a little homework in preparation, I would strongly advise that. You can go to the website on the slide here. And for those of you who, it's pretty simple, 8thprincipleuu.org. There's also a lot more information available on the UUA website. This particular website addresses the 8th Principle and its history in particular. And then we'll review all that next Sunday. Thanks.
Today, being the third Sunday of the month, we welcome a witness to our virtual pulpit. A moment of witness is widely practiced in Christian and Islamic denominations as a means to bear witness or give testimony about the way a specific religious affiliation has impacted one's life. Our hope is that their moment of witness, a congregant here can briefly share a significant experience that moved them, helping all of us to deepen our relationship with Unitarian Universalism and strengthen our ties to the community. Catherine Leakage, please share with us this morning.
Thank you, and thank you for this time. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. I've been saying these words with you almost every Sunday for 8 years or more, maybe. Service is its prayer. I have marveled at and wondered about these words, but never have I felt them, their meaning, as deeply as I did on January 1st, 2022. Since I was young, I have felt compelled to assist the unhoused in ways that I could. I don't do it for accolades, it's bigger than that. Life works in mysterious ways. I did not know then that I would have a son that would be homeless on and off throughout his adult life. I heard an idea the other day that the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. Mental health vulnerabilities make it difficult for some people to connect, giving ways to behaviors and lifestyles that put people on the fringes of society. On the 1st of this year, I saw a man in Mitchell Park, obviously homeless. I asked him if he needed anything, that I had some socks, jackets, food, blankets. He said yes, and so we went to my car and I gave him some things. In my opinion, the loneliness was palpable, and I left him wishing I had spent more time with him. But this was the first time that I have ever really experienced service, indisputably, undeniably, and conclusively being a prayer. And it was a direct prayer for Antonio, my son, that he might have a better life, that he might live a more comfortable life, that he might experience kindness and connection from a stranger, someone that can soften his experience, if just for a moment in time. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth and freedom, and to help one another. And I will add, to help the greater community in ways that we can. Thank you.
Sharing together some of our personal and significant joys and concerns brings us closer as a faith community. We invite you to share the milestones that are deeply felt as part of your personal life, but please be mindful and considerate of all who come to worship with us this morning. This is a time of community building. The collective flames of these candles embody all the joys and sorrows which may have gone unspoken today, but are also deeply felt in this community. The first reading is from the New International Version Bible, 1 King chapter 19, verses 11 and 12. The Lord said to Elijah, "Go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by." Then a great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. Let us join in a time of meditation, of prayer, and of silence. Let us seek the quiet and the calm, laying aside our struggles. And in the silence, may there be a reverence in our hearts, a thankfulness within our spirit, and a deepened understanding of the meaning of our lives. Let us enter into the stillness. Quiet your active mind. Soothe your troubled heart. Connect with your incorporeal soul. Ignite your dormant spirit. Reach beyond your essence to find your inner peace. The second reading comprises two quotes. To be beautiful means to be yourself. You don't need to be accepted by others. You need to accept yourself. Thich Nhat Hanh. Be still and cool in thy own mind and spirit. George Fox. Okay, please join in singing Find a Stillness, number 352.
Find a stillness, hold a stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let
Today's sermon is titled, My Weed Teacher, The Wanda Kelp Mysteries, to be delivered by Rich Smucker. Today marks Rich's first appearance at our pulpit. Rich and I have come to know each other by virtue of his playing lead trumpet in the Atascadero Community Band that I conduct, and the now defunct Swing for Joy Jazz Band, which I played trombone in and he led. Rich himself is an accomplished trumpet player who once sat as a principal trumpet for the Chamber Orchestra of Southern Maryland, and he studied with Andrew Balio, the principal trumpet for the Baltimore Symphony. Rich is also a board-certified therapist, having served several Maryland agencies, including the ARC of Southern Maryland, the Springdale Center, and the Ashbury Health Care Center. Recently, he worked with the Arts for Living nonprofit in SLO County, serving families managing life with developmental disabilities. Several decades ago, Rich spent 20 years overseeing and managing research projects and teams for the environmental biogeochemistry at the University of Maryland and Smithsonian Environmental Research Center. That was a mouthful. Currently, Rich delivers workshops for artists and clinicians who work with improving the resiliency of clinical applications for the science of heart rate variability and psychophysiological coherence and ANS balance. I'll talk more about that later. Rich holds a BA in education from Goshen College, an MA from Shenandoah Conservatory in Virginia, and a doctorate in microbiology from the Ohio State University. An interesting tidbit of information, Rich was a guidance counselor for over 50 years ago for the Bureau of Indian Affairs at the Sabah Delkai Navajo boarding school. Rich, the grotto is yours.
Sound check. That was Wanda. While I'm up here, this ocean drum, the thumbprints on here come from multiple residents of San Luis Obispo County in helping make this ocean drum. If we have time later, we will demonstrate it. But from the hands of people with developmental disabilities and their connection with the sea came this life. Thank you for engaging me and Wanda in today's conversations. It is a privilege to share in the wonderment of the Pacific Ocean in Cambria as the foundation of today's meditation. In fact, I went through the fog early this morning to visit the Moonstone Beach. A special thanks for Andy for his remarkable management of the technical aspects of the morning. Yesterday was an interesting day of figuring it all out. Thank you. Jan for her musicianship and suggestions, and Mary for her musicianship and selection of the hymns. Thank you much. Randy for all his coordination of the morning and assistance with slides. I needed a lot of help. Spencer Riddle is an artist from North Carolina. He created the watercolors that you will see in the slides. And I thank Wanda Kelp for her guidance in being patient and listening, and for dress code for the day. She said, be yourself. So she came as herself, and I came as I was comfortable. So in an ideal world, I would have an iPad. However, today I have a me-pad. So you will see me turning some pages. As a wind player and as a vocalist, my goal is to produce sounds with efficiency, centered tone, and full color of sound. And as Andrew Ballio would say in the lessons I had with him, if you can't play every note everywhere in the tessitura of the instrument, high, low, pianissimo at the outset, you must keep at it. There is nothing to be forced, it has to be there. Wanda has helped in that journey. At first, the discovery of bull kelp as a horn simply intrigued me. I soon realized that each kelp horn has its own personality. Some of Wanda's family members are here today, but Wanda has been the chosen one because Priscilla here keeps blowing in my ear, and that's not acceptable. This one travels in my van at all times, but Wanda is going to be the spokesperson. So. And I would be remiss if I didn't apply a little bit of Wanda, and then the cornet goes away. I soon realized that each kelp horn has its own personality and fundamental do, meaning a pitch center. So every time you pick up a different one, it has a different thing, and you have to listen and carefully find out what notes are there. So I became a student of the kelp horn, especially in the last few months, where I have been the sole caretaker for some of the time for a family member who was completely immobilized. I have been cook, bottle washer, all of the things you can imagine for a 220-pound person, and all kinds of hazardous waste management. I'll just put it that way. I've become something, it's very stressful, and I began to appreciate what it might be like to be a mom 24/7, but at least I have time off, and I'm down here. So Wanda has helped me make it easy to make this transition. In fact, my cousin loves the sound of the kelp horn. He said, would you please play it? So, and then of the entire family of kelp horns that have survived the storms, Wanda has emerged as the spokesperson of the tribe, not because she's egotistical, but she has the most mellow personality. Here are a few lessons learned, lessons which are fundamental to the techniques for listening to Wanda's inner voice. Patient listening, not forcing outcomes, but cooperative interactions. You'll see the word garland on the slide. Why pick garland? Well, I like mnemonics. Next. And how can this tangled mess, you might say, or mass on the beach, which came from just north of your formal Moonstone Beach, become a garland of hope? Well, growth and resilience, listening, and no defeat. So you'll notice there are 7 words or 7 letters in the term garland. In this mnemonic, the center L is for listening. Some years ago, I was fortunate to come across a book that the Cambria Library hadn't checked out, so they put it in a book sale. It had not ever been checked out. The name of the book is Muses, Madmen, and Prophets: Rethinking the History, Science, and Meaning of Auditory Hallucination by Dan Smith. There are 7 chapters in the book. I just discovered this yesterday. I had the book. I discovered there are 7 chapters. The center chapter is listening. Just food for thought. And I won't tell you if I'm a muse, a madman, or a prophet. I'll just leave that one go. Wanda says, The answer lies within. Listen in complete silence. I've had students say, when they're doing this practice, you've made me, my heart's racing, you've made me, what's happened? I said, no, now you're listening, you can actually hear your body. You didn't change anything. You're just now listening to yourself. Often asked, what is the key of the instrument? I don't know, because we don't use a piano, we're using ourselves. You can touch the bell of a horn, you can hear the acoustic center. In this case, that's sol, sol, do, excuse me. And that is the call. One of the many bugle calls in the Civil War manual I have for buglers. Those are the first notes of the call. We'll come to that in a moment. Since the answer lies within, and as I said, each member has its unique sounds. And let's go on now to Wanda's world. In the ocean breath, recording, is there recording in there? This is from Moonstone Beach. Conducting inhalation. So an ideal in terms of the autonomic nervous system practice, Randy mentioned that I've been trained in to help people with anxiety and stress and better performance functioning. The idealized breath effect in Ujjayi breath or the ocean breath in yoga is approximately, well, just the simple form, the most relaxed form is 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, and you will see an idealized surfer's wave form will be like that, 5 to 10 or 5 to 7 seconds in one up and down. You'll see swells occur like that, the periods between. So that's both our, so Wanda's world has this ocean breath, and I'd like us to practice this. So if you say, without the vocal cords, the word, I'm dramatizing, but now if you do that without drawing out your throat and breathe through your nose and exhale through a small orifice in your mouth like a dental floss, you'll be able to play the sea kelp, in 20 seconds. I guarantee this is going to work. So inhale through your nose, same ocean breath. It's most important to have a controlled exhale. And the simplest control is that small orifice. Therefore, justification to play horns, trumpets, bugles, Wanda kelp. Next slide. So Wanda is in charge of this conversation. So now she's saying, and I'm her spokesperson, be still, be patient, and you will hear the sounds of my soul. Then the song of my soul. In this song, you will hear the song of the sea, where wind, sand, water, and rock create a symphony. First, let's learn this song. It's a stage for this. Happiness is here to stay, never in a hurry. Join me. Happiness is here to stay, never in a hurry. Happiness is here to stay, never in a hurry. No place to go, no place to be, no place to go, no place to be. Never in a hurry, never in a hurry. No place to go, no place to go, no place to be. Never in a hurry. No place to go, no place to be. Never in a hurry. Wanda, okay, let's go. Wade into the water, completely immerse yourself into the calm sea. Be firmly planted on the ocean floor. Find a good solid rock. And by the way, now we're going to go through the rudiments to learn the fundamentals of hula dancing. I'm not a hula instructor, but so being rooted and flowing. Wanda says, palms reach to the light. You can reach with me. So her fronds reach to the light, supported from all sides, moving freely from side to side. Sway with me. Move freely from side to side, being supported from all dimensions. Now rise and fall with the rhythm of the waves and levitate with the cycle of the tides. I, on my own, would recommend doing this many times. This is a very practical thing which gives you more air, brings in more airflow, regulates your heart rate. Okay. When the clouds darken and the wind is wild, remain resilient, yet rooted. But then, an unrelenting storm. Now, on a side, Wanda's life cycle is a year. So they grow up to 40 feet long in a year. They don't all make it to that length, as you can see. Some are longer. I found one yesterday after I left rehearsal, and I have let's see, it must be 8 feet long. It's in my vehicle, so I'm looking forward to hearing its sound. But then an unrelenting storm took me from my roots and tossed me ashore in a strange place, stranded, weary and worn. And this is one of the second of Spencer's watercolors. Alone, sun-bleached, skin and bone. I've either to give in, become dust in the water, molecules mixed in the sand, never to be heard from, seen again, or partner with the wind. Please, I prefer the latter, so that I can share my sounds, share my songs. And I've asked Rich to partner with me in making audible sound, soul sounds, patterns, and songs. It takes a community to make this work. Some of you will think of that as taps, but the original language for that is lights out. And so it's indicated in the manual for buglers. that one of the series of the lyrics is, day is done. Whoops, that's too high. Day, day, day. Help me out here. That's too low, and I'm doing it too. Do, do, boom. Excuse me. I'm going to go classical here. Okay, here we go. Day is done, gone the sun, from the lake, from the hill, from the sky. All is well, safely rest. God is one. What have I learned from Wanda Kelp? She is an example of a whole series of molecules, including carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, and all of the things that we're all made of. We're all part of God's universe. And ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But listening, like I recall the Hopi Indians would look to all the four corners, the Navajos as well, the four corners of the earth to see if things were in balance. Animals, plants, humans, all part of one. If a snake is missing from their annual pilgrimage for the corn dance, trouble is around the corner. So we're looking for all of these. So Wanda is part of this signal. Yes, Wanda can be eaten. She is made into, her relatives have been made into salads and other things. There are many, many things, but I had to use, we have the word cannibal in our history. So anyway, it's very interesting. An entity has a sound, has something to listen, to teach us, seemingly inanimate, but yet alive and vibrant. She is the existential form wherein patient listening is required. She became the teacher. I must listen. Hearing is not enough. In the silence of thought, I can listen for my sounds. In silence, I hear the song of my soul. In silence, I hear the need of my cousin. In the silence, I hear the need of my son. I don't have a son, but I'm saying this because of the sharing. Never in a hurry, with grace and poise. In music, we say there's fortissimo, FF. Let's turn that into loud, not loudness, but finely focused. PP means poised and placed. The perfect lesson for teaching how to play a horn. Not forced, but poised and placed and released. Never in a hurry, with grace and poise, the focused sound magically appears. Embrace your joys, elevate yourself with laughter, learn from your mistakes, use the mistakes as building blocks, build a palace of freedoms and blunders. Listen to the soul sounds of your silence. Oh, wait. What I'm doing next needs to go on the last slide. Yeah, I mean after, yes. So, sorry, Wanda. So, I am.
Thank you, Rich, and you'll be hearing from him in just a few minutes again. Okay, the morning offering will now be given and received. Please keep in mind that our congregation is entirely self-governed by the democratic process. One of the privileges of our free church tradition is to provide all of the financial support for our many ministries from among ourselves. Generosity, therefore, is one of the spiritual values we recognize as central to our personal and our institutional well-being. You're invited to participate in the blessing of giving. For those at home, please use one of the methods shown on the screen. Thank you. Our thanks for all the gifts given and received for the work of this community. Let us now sing the doxology.
Stirrings of compassion blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of light, come to me, come to me.
Please join in singing the closing hymn, Winds Be Still, number 83.
Winds be still, storm clouds pass and silence come, peace
Let us now recite the valediction. The flame of this chalice will no longer burn today, but the light of the flame within our hearts continues to shine brightly, illuminating the love felt in our community. Please extinguish your chalices at home now. After the benediction, please click on the gallery view button in the upper right corner of your screen, but please remain muted. Diane and I will call on you when you raise your hand. Rich, the grotto is once again yours.
I'm going to say words and then I'll play a song, or Wanda is going to play a song. May you embrace your joys, levitate yourself with laughter, use your mistakes as building blocks, build a palace of freedoms and blunders. Listen to the soul songs of your silence. Listen to your silence, and through silence, embrace your soul. And in so doing, you will resonate with the souls of others.